He struck in the nation's capital, but he was no protester, no political radical, no name anyone could put a face to. They called him the Freeway Phantom, a ghost in the night who hunted young black girls on the streets of Washington, D.C. in the early 1970s. Between April 1971 and September 1972, 6 girls between the ages of 10 and 18 vanished without warning. Days or weeks later, their bodies would be found along highways, dumped like afterthoughts. There were no signs of struggle, no clear pattern beyond the victims themselves. Young, black, and living in neighborhoods long ignored by the police and media. The city was boiling with unrest, racial tension, and distrust of authority, and in the middle of it someone was silently taking lives. The Phantom didn't scream for attention. He didn't write to newspapers or play games with law enforcement. What made him terrifying wasn't theatrics. It was how little he left behind. He snatched his victims from sidewalks, sometimes in broad daylight, and vanished without a trace. In one case, a note was left tucked in a girl's shoe, neatly written mocking police incompetence. "This is tantamount to my insensitivity, sick to people, especially women," it read. The tone was cold, calculated. It wasn't just a murder. It was a message. You can't catch me. You're not even close. The families cried out for answers, but they didn't get much more than press conferences and empty promises. This was D.C. in the 70s, a city where black voices were often ignored, where missing children weren't front-page news unless they came from the right zip code. And the killer knew it. He used the city's chaos as cover, hiding in plain sight while the authorities fumbled through their own bureaucracy. Tips went cold. Suspects came and went. At one point, police looked into a gang of local criminals known for targeting women, the so-called Green Vega rapists, but the connections never stuck. The truth is, they never got close. The Phantom faded just as suddenly as he appeared. After the 6th victim, Diane Williams, just 17 years old, no more bodies turned up, no more notes, no arrests, no justice, just silence. Half a century later, the case remains unsolved, buried under newer crimes and newer headlines. But for the families still waiting, and for the city that let it happen, the ghost of the Freeway Phantom never really left. He's still out there in memory, not just as a killer, but as a symbol of everything that failed those girls, the police, the press, and a city that didn't care until it was too late.